Okay, so Iceland's Golden Circle. I mean, it's legendary for a reason, right? You've got geysers going off, massive waterfalls.
Absolutely. It's the classic Iceland highlights reel. Hard to beat.
Totally. But what if I told you that even there, on that really well-trodden path, there are still these hidden spots.
Gems tucked away.
Exactly. Places that have this quiet, sort of unexpected magic.
Yeah.
Especially if you're, well, curious enough to look just a little bit deeper.
I know the kind of place you mean.
And today, that's what we're doing. A deep dive into one of those marvels, Brúarfoss.
Ah, Bridge Falls.
That's the one. It might not scream for attention like, say, Gullfoss or Geyser, but wow, its appeal is. It's something else.
Definitely more subtle, but powerful.
So our mission here in this deep dive is really to peel back the layers. We're not just going to look at a pretty picture.
No.
We want to get into the geology behind that unbelievable turquoise water
Mm-hmm.
and explore the stories, the legends. Some of them are actually quite chilling.
Oh, they are.
And just kind of grasp the quiet power that makes this place, well, a must-know.
Yeah.
We want to give you those aha moments.
Show how it all connects, the science, the stories, the feel of the place.
Exactly. Without getting bogged down in, too many dry facts. So how does a waterfall become more than just water? How does it turn into this, like, living canvas of history and a color that honestly feels unreal?
Well, it's a perfect example, isn't it? How much more there is when you dig just a little.
Yeah.
What's so fascinating with Brúarfoss is exactly that interplay. The raw power of the earth, human history, myths even.
Yeah.
They don't just sit side by side.
No.
No, they weave together. They create this experience that really hits you on different levels. You expect beauty from a waterfall, sure.
Right.
But Brúarfoss gives you a whole narrative, a story.
And speaking of that narrative,
Yeah.
we absolutely have to start with its most obvious feature, that blue.
Oh, yeah, the color.
That just brilliant turquoise blue water. It's almost unbelievable. Like, you see photos and think, okay, that's definitely been edited.
But it hasn't. It's real.
It really is. And this amazing waterfall, it's tucked away in South Iceland. Right there on the Golden Circle route, actually.
Conveniently located, yet often missed.
Yeah. You can be driving along, surrounded by all that dark, dramatic, volcanic rock, and then bam, there's this jewel.
Mm.
But the story behind that specific blue, that's where it gets really interesting. What is it about this spot that gives the river that, well, unforgettable color?
It really comes down to Iceland's geology. Glaciers, specifically.
Okay.
The water flowing through Brúarfoss is glacial meltwater. It starts its journey way up on Langjökull Glacier.
Iceland's second biggest, right?
That's the one. And as this enormous ice sheet grinds across the land, it basically pulverizes the rock underneath, crushes it into super fine particles.
Mango powder?
Exactly. They often call it rock flour. It's incredibly fine sediment, almost silky, and the meltwater picks this up.
Rock flour.
Yeah.
I like that. So it's not like minerals dissolved in the water making it blue. It's actual tiny bits of rock.
Precisely. These microscopic particles are suspended in the water, and when sunlight hits it, well, they don't absorb all the colors like most things.
Okay.
Instead, they're really good at scattering the blue wavelengths of light, reflecting them back out.
Ah, so kind of like why the sky is blue.
Exactly the same principle. Just, happening in the water itself, it makes the blue light bounce around and become really visible, creating that intense, almost electric turquoise color. It's quite a phenomenon.
Wow. And it's not just the color itself, but like you said, the contrast.
Yes.
You get this glowing blue water set against that really stark, dark, volcanic rock of the gorge.
It pops. It really does.
Looks like something from a fairy tale. Or maybe like a painter went a bit wild with the brightest blue they had.
It is a pretty rare visual, isn't it? I mean, how often do you see a color that distinct tied so clearly to a glacier but then set against such dark volcanic terrain?
Not often.
It's this beautiful, stark reminder of Iceland's geology in action. The slow grind of the glaciers, the fiery volcanoes. That visual tension is definitely part of its magic.
And, despite that really powerful visual punch, you might be surprised that Brúarfoss isn't like a towering giant.
No, it's quite modest in height.
Yeah, it only drops about 5 meters, so maybe 15, 16 feet.
Roughly, yes. But what it lacks in sheer height, it absolutely makes up for in character, intimacy even.
That's a great way to put it. It doesn't have that huge, overwhelming scale of some other Icelandic falls.
Exactly. And that modest drop is key to its charm, I think. It feels more personal.
How so?
Well, its structure is unique too. The water flows over two main tiers, creating these really delicate, complex cascades.
Right, winding through the rock.
Yeah, through that dark volcanic rock and down into this deep little gorge. It sort of pulls you in, makes you want to get closer, rather than just stand back and look.
Less of a spectacle, more of a discovery.
Precisely. It invites you to lean in, really see it, not just snap a photo and move on.
And I think that intimacy might be part of why it's becoming more popular now. Its accessibility has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
It has. For a long time, reaching Brúarfoss was, well, a bit of a trek.
Yeah, I heard it was like a 7-kilometer hike. Round trip.
That's right. Which definitely kept it as more of a hidden gem. You had to earn it, so to speak.
But that's changed recently.
Yes, significant improvements. There's a new parking area now, much closer, so visitors can reach the falls within, just a few minutes walk.
Okay, so that makes it way easier for people to see it.
It does. Which is great in one way. Obviously, more people get to experience its beauty.
Right.
But it also brings challenges, right? That's the classic conservation dilemma. Easier access means more foot traffic, more potential impact.
Right, more responsibility.
Exactly. On visitors, on local authorities, everyone needs to be mindful, engage respectfully to make sure that unique atmosphere isn't lost. It's that ongoing balancing act. Preservation versus tourism.
Let's hope the appreciation grows along with the access.
That's the goal. Hopefully, easier access leads to greater stewardship, not just more people.
Absolutely. It's a delicate thing.
Ooh.
Okay, but moving beyond the geology and the access, Brúarfoss is also soaked in history and folklore.
Oh, yes. Layers upon layers.
This place isn't just pretty rocks and blue water. It's got some serious stories attached. Even the name, right? Brúarfoss.
Bridge fall.
It comes from a natural stone arch, a bridge that used to span the Brúará River right there.
A natural formation.
Yeah, but it collapsed centuries ago, maybe 15th, 16th century, somewhere around that.
And now it just exists in memory, in the name.
Exactly. Only local memories and the name itself keep it alive. Makes you think, though. A bridge, a connection point.
It does make you wonder how this natural symbol of connection could become tangled up in some pretty dark human stories.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. It definitely changes how you see the place, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From just beautiful to, well, weighted with history.
Burned in my memory, perhaps.
And that brings us to one particularly grim bit of folklore. From 1602, apparently.
Ah, the famine story.
Yes. Legend says during this absolutely devastating famine, someone associated with the nearby Skálholt Church deliberately destroyed that natural bridge.
And the motive.
To stop starving peasants from crossing the river to get to the church's lands, which were presumably richer, had more food.
Wow, that's bleak. Preventing access during a famine.
It's a really chilling story. Whether it's true or just folklore, it speaks volumes about how harsh life could be, the desperation.
And the power dynamics, too. If we step back and think about it, these legends, they're not just random tales. They reflect the tough realities, the social structures, the deep-seated beliefs that shaped life in Iceland for centuries.
Yeah.
That famine story, true or not, it hints at extreme power imbalances, the desperate struggle for survival in a landscape that could be incredibly unforgiving.
It definitely adds this heavy, almost visceral layer to the beautiful scenery. You imagine people struggling right there.
Exactly. The human drama playing out against this magnificent but indifferent natural backdrop.
And if that story wasn't dark enough for you, there's another one, even older.
Oh.
This one involves a Danish bishop, John Gerrickson, back in 1433.
Okay, going way back now.
Yeah. The story goes he was murdered, tied up in a bag,
Oh, dear.
and thrown into the river. Right here.
Thrown into Brúarfoss. Why?
Well, the legend suggests it was a jealous suitor, possibly hired or encouraged by a local woman the bishop had wronged, or who perhaps felt threatened by him. It's murky, as these old tales often are.
Good grief. A bishop murdered and dumped in the river.
It's quite the narrative, isn't it? It just hammers home how long this river, this spot, has been a silent witness to. Well, everything. Beauty, tragedy, the whole spectrum of human life for centuries. Makes you wonder what other secrets the water holds.
It certainly does. And what's striking is how both these legends, the famine bridge, the bishop's murder, they really ground Brúarfoss in that raw human experience. Life, death, power, desperation.
Not just pretty, then.
No. They're tales of extreme actions, extreme consequences. It reminds us that even the most peaceful-looking natural place can carry these echoes of intense human drama.
From a time when people were just so tied to their immediate environment, maybe, These events became part of the landscape itself.
I think that's exactly right. The land held the stories.
But it's not all darkness and gloom, thankfully. There's also this touch of the mystical, which brings a different kind of magic.
The Huldufolk.
Yes.
Yeah.
The hidden folk. Iceland's famous for its belief in them elves, hidden people, spirits of the land.
An integral part of the landscape's perceived reality for many.
And local belief holds that this waterfall, the lava fields around it, they're home to these unseen residents.
It's fascinating how these different ways of understanding the world coexist in Iceland, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got the hard science explaining the blue water, the often grim historical accounts, and then this realm of myth and spirit.
It's quite a mix.
And these Huldufolk legends, they aren't just quaint fairy tales. They really reflect this deep, profound connection to the land, an understanding that nature is imbued with spirit, with history, with forces beyond just what we can see and measure.
A kind of reverence for nature.
Exactly. Acknowledging forces beyond human control, beyond easy explanation. It's deeply woven into how people have related to their environment there for generations.
And there's that lovely tradition, too, isn't there? Where people sometimes leave little offerings.
Yes, small things. Pebbles, maybe some flowers.
Left near the waterfall as a sign of respect for the hidden folk.
It's a beautiful gesture. It really highlights that relationship with the land in Iceland, often seen as one of coexistence, being mindful of these older, deeper forces.
It's a nice, gentle counterpoint to the more dramatic human stories we were just talking about.
It absolutely is. Suggests a respect for the land itself, not just as a resource, but as something more.
So putting it all together, what does this mean for us looking at Brúarfoss? It's clearly more than just stunning scenery. It's steeped in geology, yes, but also centuries of human life, drama, superstition, and even this touch of the mystical. It's not just a quick photo stop.
No, it invites you to slow down, to contemplate.
To kind of listen, metaphorically speaking, to the stories it holds, which leads us nicely into the actual feel of the place, the atmosphere.
Right, because despite its growing fame, it still holds on to this real sense of serenity.
It does feel quieter, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially compared to the big hitters nearby in the Golden Circle, like Geyser or Gullfoss, which can be quite crowded.
Absolutely. It occupies this relatively less visited corner. So if you're seeking genuine tranquility, that connection with nature without the huge crowds, Brúarfoss is ideal. It offers a more reflective experience.
You can really soak it in.
And that tranquility is a huge part of its character now. You've got the lush green moss covering the volcanic rocks.
It's so vibrant.
Yeah, and the hardy little plants that manage to grow there. Maybe you'll see some local birds. It all adds up to an ambiance that feels very alive, but also really peaceful, undisturbed.
It's a definite contrast to the sheer, raw power you feel at somewhere like Gullfoss. This is powerful in a different way.
It is. It's a space for introspection, maybe, where the beauty feels amplified by the quiet. You can connect with that raw Icelandic essence, but in a very personal, almost intimate way.
Yeah, exactly. Brúarfoss really it teaches us that wonder isn't always about massive scale.
True.
Sometimes it's in the intricate details, the quiet invitation to just look closer, connect on a deeper level.
Well said.
And that really is why doing this kind of deep dive matters to you, the listener. We've tried to give you a shortcut, to get beneath the surface of a place like this.
So it's not just a pretty waterfall.
Right. It's a geological wonder, yes, but also this living canvas of human history, myth. It's about finding those surprising connections, getting that aha moment of understanding for a place you might otherwise just, glance at.
Because knowing the story enhances the experience, doesn't it? When you understand the why behind the blue or the echoes of history in the name, it adds so much depth. Knowledge is definitely most valuable when you can connect it, apply it. What stands out most to you, thinking about how all these different threads, the geology, the history, the folklore, weave together here?
For me, it's how they create such a compelling, multi-layered story about one single, relatively small place.
Yes. That intricate tapestry is what defines Brúarfoss. It transforms it from just a waterfall into something profound.
It really does. So if we're boiling it down, what's the big takeaway from Brúarfoss?
Maybe that even in places we think are familiar, like the Golden Circle, The most striking beauty can often mask these incredible layers of history, human struggle, myth.
Yeah, reminding us that nature's canvas isn't just painted by geology.
It's also painted by centuries of human drama, belief, and that quiet resilience.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening.
Yeah, perhaps next time you visit a landmark famous or even just a quiet spot in nature, take a moment. Consider what forgotten stories, what unseen geological processes, what hidden layers might lie just beneath the surface.
Waiting to be discovered.
Exactly. How do those local tales, those unique natural features, enrich our understanding of a place way beyond just how it looks?
Because it's often in those deeper narratives, isn't it? That's where the real magic lies.
Inviting us to see the world with maybe a little more curiosity?
And definitely a lot more wonder.